Space, the final frontier. My name is Captain Foley, and these are my adventures. Captain's Log, Stardate 201601.221. Yeah. Hey everybody, Captain Foley is back. I've had a rough day yesterday, and it's only been a few days since my last Captain's Log, but I thought I'd do another one. I got a lot of comments and a lot of things that I need to address to get off my chest. I've been kind of stewing about things all night and over breakfast, so thought I needed to make a Captain's Log today. First thing I want to talk about real quick is Star Trek timelines. Yes, I'm playing the game. If you want to become a member of the Trekyards fleet, because apparently there's fleets for that thing, I don't know. There is a Star Trek Team Trekyards Star Trek Timelines Facebook page. So look up Team Trekyards Timelines, and you will find a Facebook page. I didn't create it. Another member did, but he's playing Star Trek Timelines and asked me if I was playing, which I am, and he said there's a fleet option, so he wanted to make a fleet page, and I said that's fine. I am not level 9 yet, so I can't even join my own fleet. I'm level 8. I just don't have a lot of time to play, and I'm kind of stuck right now anyway. I wish the game would progress a little bit better than it does, but whatever. It is what it is. So, yeah, lots to talk about. I was kind of frustrated yesterday. You might have seen a post saying that I need a vacation. I do need a vacation, and I am going away next week, leaving on Wednesday. Going to be gone until Saturday. Going with the wifey to Niagara Falls, spending a few days there in a suite overlooking the falls. So that should be very relaxing and very cathartic, as I'm sure this whole Captain's Log will be very cathartic, because like I said, I got a lot to talk about and a lot of comments to address. So anyway, guys, it sounds like my furnace. Hold on a second. I got to go turn off my furnace because somebody complained about that. And I'll be right back. I'm going to be reaching towards the screen because my clicker broke. I've ordered a new one. It's on the way. So if you see me doing this, it's just because I need to turn off I have to pause the video. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I just ran upstairs and turned my furnace off so that I can freeze to death while I make my Captain's Logs, because I've had complaints that you need to do something about your air conditioner or your furnace because it turns on while I'm talking. Well, that's where my desk is. It's right beside the furnace, so I'm sorry, I guess. I mean, I do these Captain's Logs. They're not a professional production. They're just me talking. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry. I apologize. I will try to freeze to death every time I make a Captain's Log. Let my family upstairs freeze as well while I do that for the people that have complained. That's kind of what I was getting at yesterday with my comment about you guys really suck the life out of things. Like I was saying, this is a creative outlet for me. I bring you things that I want you to see, and a lot of people just have a lot of criticisms and things, especially with my Captain's Logs, that I don't do it the way that they would do it, and they offer suggestions, which is fine. I don't have a problem with suggestions, and I have tried a lot of those suggestions in the past, but usually it's better for me to just do one take instead of editing a bunch of stuff together and making lots of cuts and reading everything prior and blah, blah, blah. So I've been really stressed, and then some of those comments yesterday they really ruined my day. First of all, I was having a pretty good day until I read some of that stuff. But, so yeah, I will try to make things better for you guys, and I don't mind if you have suggestions, but they are just that. They're suggestions. I don't have to take them seriously. And I will continue to do whatever I feel is necessary for the show and for myself. And sometimes that might mean leaving the furnace on if it's like minus 30 outside. And I apologize if you hear a little bit of a kick in behind me. You can still hear me because I've listened to the videos myself. So it's not really a problem. It's not like this is going out to millions and millions of people on a national television network. So that's kind of my issue with that. I am going to get to your comments from the last Captain's Log, which is just a few days ago. I've already had a lot of comments on it. So I'm going to address all of those, and we will be done. And then I'm going on vacation next week, actually. I'm going to be leaving on Wednesday. Going to be gone till Saturday. And, yeah. So, let's get into today's Captain's Log, shall we? So, just a heads up, this might be a little ranty in a few places. Like I said, this has been bothering me since yesterday. I stewed about it all last night. I stewed about it all today over breakfast. And I decided I have to do a Captain's Log. So, I'm going to address all these things. And, sorry, I'm not in the best of moods. Here we go. First one's from JP. If you're going to preach about IDIC, infinite diversity and different combinations, which I'm all for, you may want to reconsider your stance on statements you've made yourself in previous videos on things like Carrie Fisher's appearance and voice in the Star Wars The Force Awakens. In my review, I mentioned she's looking a lot older and she's got a raspy voice. Sounds like she smoked a little too many death sticks. That's what we call a joke. If you can't take a joke, and I joke a lot, it's just who I am. I am who I am in these videos. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry for your... It doesn't mean I don't believe in the philosophy of Gene Roddenberry. Which leads into the next one. Or even Alice Eve's figure. Statements like that aren't needed and do not in any way fit with Gene's philosophy. And if it wasn't for some of the gems on this channel that this channel provide, it almost caused me to unsubscribe. Let's practice what we preach. Seriously? Gene's philosophy. Okay, well, I live Gene's philosophy every day. Just because I make jokes about things or I refer to how attractive a woman is, doesn't mean I don't believe Gene's philosophy. Second of all, Gene Roddenberry was a known ladies' man. Yes, he was married to Majel Barrett, but he also cheated on her quite a few times, had a lot of affairs. I mean, that's public knowledge, so he probably would have approved of what I said. Doesn't fit with his Star Trek philosophy, but neither do jokes. It's a joke for a reason. So, JP, if you feel the need, please unsubscribe. All right, then Trevor LaForest commented on that and said, if we are talking about IDIC and inclusiveness, the use of the word retarded, which I've noticed in, I think, at least 3 or 4 of your Captain's Logs videos, is a thing I'd consider. I've done plenty of work in the at-risk youth, and I've seen kids with LDs, learning disabilities, react to the words that they've been slapped. Then, again, some don't. It's the craziest thing. People are individuals and can't predict what their reactions to language might be, lol. It jumped out at me because it's one of the few words that you know are going to make a particular subset of audience feel a little shitty 100% of the time. Increasing inclusiveness is a thing you're interested in doing. That might be a place to start. In my honest opinion, that's not abandoning the no BS attitude or raw censorship. It's just a choice. Would be interested in hearing your thoughts. When I say retarded, I'm not being offensive to anybody. I grew up in the 80s. I grew up when retarded just meant that's something that's really stupid or heinous or dumb or not radical. Like, seriously. It's just a term that I use when I just talk with people. Everybody is so politically correct these days that it makes me sick. I will just say what comes out in my head, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody or any group of people. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. Never have been, never will be. So I'm getting kind of sick of these comments. I understand that you might be offended by it. I apologize. But please understand that anything I say is not meant. Trust me, if I'm insulting you or a group of people, you'll know it. Because I will let you know ahead of time that I'm insulting you. I don't just say things, I don't just say things to be rude and insulting. I say them just off the cuff as part of a joke. It's part of the culture and the language that I grew up in and with, and it's just part of my day-to-day language. As you can ask anybody that knows me, my family, I swear a lot, I joke a lot. It's just who I am. So I apologize if it's offensive. It is never intended to be. John DeFrancisco. I really respect the fact that you talked about your depression and what you have accomplished in spite of it. I just sit back and watch you and Sam and feel at home. I was thinking, since it's just you and Commander Calkins, that maybe you could assign some ambassadors and other things to do with Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie from 7 years old, and I'm now 56. I love the fact that you stick to that, and would hate to see you spread yourselves too thin and compromise your integrity. I have depression too, and know how easy it is to get overwhelmed, so I thought I would put this out there. Personally, I do not have much to contribute other than that delegation thing, but Mr. Spock saved my life essentially at 10 or 11 years old, and you guys carrying on this dedication helps me through 45 years. Captain Foley, those few people who can say crap about you cannot take away the good you do for so many people. You do so much to put the research into this, and then the comment gets cut off because it's my iPad and it's annoying. But thank you. I get the gist of where you're going. So yes, absolutely. I guess talking about my depression does help some people. Other people complain about that. It's one thing I can expect to hear in every captain's log is your depression, and you're not going to put up with BS. And sorry, that's not every captain's log. Captain's logs where I'm a little bit on edge and have a little bit of a pissy mood, which is quite often. You might hear that. So again, if you're watching a captain's log and I say I'm depressed, I'm sorry. But like I've said in other captain's logs, making these captain's logs is kind of therapeutic for me. I like to just talk to you guys and tell you guys what's going on in my life and how your comments and suggestions and questions affect me. So if you don't want to watch a captain's log because you're afraid you're going to hear about depression in everyone, then by all means, please don't watch the captain's log. I have no problem with that. I have other people that will, and they can relate to what I'm saying, and that's the way it is. Fox Piano. Hey, you cut off my catchphrase quote. That's okay, I guess. Great log. I don't know what your catchphrase quote was, because like I said, my iPad cuts off the ends of long comments, and there's no way that I can see them on the iPad, and I don't have my computer in front of me at the moment. It's upstairs. And Skye commented. Every time I see Skye comment, I know it's going to be good, and I like hearing from her, so let's see what she has to say. Yes, I know I posted more than once, but I have a job, which means I can finally support Trekyards on Patreon. Well, thank you, Skye. Much appreciated. And yeah, she commented a few other times, but they shuffle the comments around, so. Jasus. Any plans to do a Fleet Yards? Or could you even get away with making it a Trekyards episode, maybe? On the NSEA Protector from Galaxy Quest. It is the unofficial 13th Star Trek film. Yeah, I'd love to do the Protector. The NSEA Protector. Great movie. Better Star Trek movie than JJ's movies, as far as I'm concerned. JJ's movies are more of a Star Trek parody than Galaxy Quest is. And every time I watch Galaxy Quest, I kind of superimpose all the Star Trek characters over them anyway. But yeah, the NCIS Protector might be a Fleet Yard ship. I think that might be. Or it might even be a Trekyards. We might be able to sneak that in. That'd be interesting. We'll see. Avenue Pad. I would love to hang out with you. We would play Star Trek Catan and compare notes on weird Ontario kids shows. I spent my youth years in southern Ontario and moved to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and still have fond memories of my Ontario years. What about Mr. Dress Up? Or Polka Dot Door? There you go. There's some Ontario kids shows. Star Trek Catan I've never played. I've seen it. Don't know what it's about. I know it's based on another game and it's just converted over to Star Trek, so that'd be interesting. P. Giovanni Jr., another long comment, which gets cut off, but I'll read as much as I can. This comment is to the fans as much as to the captain. I came across Trekyards not long after it started, and at the time I thought it was just a fun distraction to tune in to every now and then. This past fall I was diagnosed with cancer and have been an emotional roller coaster ever since. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. In the time that Trekyards community went from a simple distraction to a true godsend for me. Having a place to talk to like-minded people and turn off reality for a bit can go a long way to relieving some of the depression and anxiety. Recently, during a particularly bad day, I sent a message to the captain asking for his opinions on some personal issues I was having. I wasn't really expecting a response, but within a minute of hitting send, he had already messaged me back with advice and words of encouragement. I was blown away. I'm just one of the few thousand fans of Trekyards, but for the captain to take the time to treat me as a close friend, even for just a few minutes, is amazing. And then your message gets cut off. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm always here for you guys. If you guys ever message me, I always get back to you right away. Well, as soon as I can. And I love chatting with you. I've added most of you to my friends list, and I don't have a problem with you guys messaging me and just chatting. I'm sure a bunch of other of you can corroborate that. It's what I do. It's what I am. I'm a nice person, despite that I use an odd term now and then that might be taken offensively to some people. I apologize for that again. But Paul, sorry to hear about your cancer situation, and we are here for you. Trekyards will continue to be on the air, making new content for you guys and whatnot. So, and anytime, feel free to message me, guys. Private message. And if you have issues with me, I'd love to talk to you personally instead of getting frustrated on a captain's log. Another message from Skye. Oops, I commented a fair few times last video. I kept wanting to say things as the video went on. Oh, and thank you. I love commenting on captain's logs. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy a lot of the discussions that end up happening on the videos here. I have a lot to say. I have to say I get excited when I see a new video posted. Also, if there are any other Australian fans, I would be interested in meeting up. There are a ton of Australian fans. I get so many Australian fan messages. I would love you guys to have an Australian Trekyards hangout. As I say before, ask myself, throw some shrimp on the barbie and have a Foster's. Because Foster's is Australian for beer. I mean, that's probably from the 80s and doesn't even apply anymore. And I sound like an asshole, so sorry. Oh, maybe asshole is offensive to some people because people have assholes and... Anyway, sorry. Sarcasm is also part of my mainstay, and if my sarcasm offends you, once again, I apologize. It's not meant to offend you. It's just my sarcasm. Mark Fields, it's your ship, Captain. You run it how you like, and don't expect much from us. Just respect one another. Great video. You and the commander be safe. Carl Edwards, I like your Trek cave. So do I. It's only part of it. There's a lot more. I've shown it off in other videos if you want to check out some of the other videos. I might do another captain's log, my next captain's log in the other room for some of my other stuff. So, Matthew Davies, if we wanted a nice captain, we'd be watching Star Trek Pakled. The last nice Starfleet captain was Rudy Ransom, and he exploded. Forget it. Yeah, legitimate. Analysis of Sci-Fi says... add that with what work thing? Add that with work thing. Add does with work thing. I don't know what you said. Sorry. John Curbside Cross Mills. Hi. If you were to design a starship from the 29th century, would you base it on what we know and love, or would you do a completely different type of ship? Love and keep... Love the show and keep going. Good work, Captain. I would design a totally... I wouldn't. I would design a ship that we all know and love shape-wise. You have to have a secondary hull, warp nacelles, and a saucer. And you can... So many variations on that. I would keep the standard configuration, I think. Daniel Collins. A Captain Foley mandate would involve some beers and talking sci-fi ships, I reckon. I know you like planes and cars, so it sounds like we could go on and on. Absolutely. If our wives were along, I think they would be even more interested, as you and Sylvia have a funny banter that you portrayed in other videos. And if you come to Australia, we'd have a barbecue and check out the sights and the wildlife. See, there's another Australian right there. The wife suffers from depression and anxiety, so seeing how you deal with it helps. She has some coloring books and other things she tries, but it's good to see other people and how they deal with it. And I definitely look forward to the Captain's Logs just as much as Trekyards episodes, especially if I'm commenting on a previous one. So there you go. The people that complain about hearing my depression all the time, there are other people that can relate to it and understand it and actually get help from listening to me talk about it. So I will continue to do what I feel I want to do. Dr. L, I love the Starship Designer Toolkit. It's a bit too much TOS and TMP for me, for a TNG lover, but it's still awesome. Alvin Cambridge, Captain Foley, Lieutenant Junior Grade Cambin reporting. You are a Psi Starfleet. Are you a Psi Starfleet member? SFI Starfleet member. If not, you should be. You would love it. I post a lot of your videos on our Facebook page, USS Golden Gate. We love them. I hope you are enjoying the big Star Trek 50th in Burling game in December 2016. My shipmates and commanding officer would love to meet you. Don't think I'll be going, but we'll see. Enterprise H. Drive Angry was pretty well received, as I remember. At least the villain. I don't think you found the pictures I meant. I put the quotation marks there for a reason. Without them, you will not find the picture. You need to put motto in front of it. I would link it here, but I cannot post the link to the comment section. Looking at it, the big and bulky in the cells suddenly makes sense. The motto was, till all live long and prosper. So motto, till all live long and prosper. I want to buy Star Trek books, and I've been looking for The Last Frontier and One Constant Star. Would you know if they're any good? And if not, could you recommend another novel that has a good Star Trek story? The Final Frontier is good. One Constant Star, I don't know. Other great novels, there's so many. I can't even suggest any. Try the Vanguard series of Star Trek books. They don't take place on the Enterprise. They take part on Vanguard Station in the TOS era. Amazing books. And the Enterprise is in the first one, so there's a lot of interaction with the Enterprise crew. So definitely a great series of books to check out. Brian Grider. Hey, Cap. What do you think of Farscape? I consider it one of the best sci-fi shows of all time. I would love to meet up with you sometime, but I live in Washington. I've never watched Farscape, so I have no opinion. And then Commander Cockings replied, I love Farscape, and I'm excited to do a Fleet Yards on their ships. James Oldfield. Captain, I look forward to all Trekyards episodes, including your Captain's Log. You always brighten up my day. Thank you. You know that one of the suggestions yesterday was to not have as many videos released and not do Captain's Logs as often. Because people don't have enough time to catch up. They said we should spend more time developing one main show, maybe do 2 a month. Well, I'm telling you right now, the amount of information and stuff we put into our shows will not change. We do balls to the wall on each episode, unless it's a mission briefing, because those are just mission briefings, which he told us to cut out also. But the episodes won't be any better if we give more time between them. You're going to get the same quality episode. So to say that makes no sense. Also, the mission briefings, they're to get more ships out to you guys because we can't do all the research for all these ships. And we want to have you guys see the ships that you like and the ships that you're familiar with and the ships you want to hear about. So that's why we do mission briefings. They might not be fully comprehensive, but they're going to be. And another person said that not many people are going to watch a mission briefing and a full Trekyards episode on the same ship, unless they're a dedicated Trekyards fan or Star Trek fan. I disagree with that. The mission briefings are just that. They're just briefings chatting about what's coming up and what we think about the ship. And the full episode is the full episode that gives you all the details about the ship, all the facts, all the figures, the history, everything. So I totally disagree with that, and that's one of those comments that kind of ticked me off yesterday and really threw me into a state of depression. But I talked about my depression again. Sorry, guys. All right, I just got to pause real second here. I got to do something real quick. I'll be right back. Hugh 1971 says, my idea for Meet the Captain would be chicken wings and beer and TOS. I'm down for that, definitely. Galvers, the no BS policy is the best policy. And Captain, you need to polish your High Gothic. The inability to correctly pronounce Dos Ex Machina Omnitia is on the border of heresy. In all fairness, heresy and hearsay look alike just at first glance. Great news about Saladin. Even greater about how large the fighter carrier panel will be. Truly impressive. Admiral Horton. And can it run Windows 10? I don't know. Hugh 1971. Pity I live in England. Matthew Davies. I never know what's going on in the Trek world. Can you order Sam to do a monthly or quarterly YouTube thing about Trek upcoming on TV or movies. Cult Section 31 mission briefings, perhaps. I could try to order him to do such a thing. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Connor Rhodes. This is the guy that had a super long comment before. I'm going to address this one. I'm not going to read the whole thing, though, because... well, it gets cut off, first of all, but... First off, I don't really get a chance to post my comments to the last log you made, but I did appreciate you taking the time to read the entire post on your last log. It is you literally dedicated around 25 minutes to that alone. I appreciate that, but I'd also say even I wouldn't have taken the time to read the entire thing on the air. Well, that's what I do. I mean, I care about what you guys think and what you feel and your questions and comments, so I'm going to do that. And I thought there was a lot of good points in your comment that needed to be, like I said, put out there so that other people could benefit from them. That being said, the responses to the post and the follow-ups here are just telling me that you're not getting what it takes to be a successful YouTuber. First of all, I'm not a YouTuber. I am Captain Foley, and this is Trekyards. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a YouTuber that has 6-minute videos on quick cuts and stupid pranks and tasting weird food and stupid little skits. That's not what this is about. I'm not a YouTuber. My son is a YouTuber. I am not. You're going to be sitting on these small channel numbers until you take some time and figure out how to build it out right. So now I'm getting in trouble from this person like they're my parent or my teacher. If you're content with super small community that gives you the room to keep doing exactly what you want and do without change, awesome. I truly hope for the best. Well, thank you. I appreciate the small community, the tight-knit group of people. I mean, once we get millions of comments, you're going to have so many assholes in there, it's not even going to be funny. Right now, I'm in control of who I can kick out. So I'm glad you're happy for me. However, if you really want to build this channel out, you're going to need to take a few gigantic steps back, truly challenge yourself, and learn what it takes to make a successful channel and pursue it. It's pretty clear that you're ... Oh, it gets cut off. And this goes on to say it's pretty clear that you're not going to change. You've made up your mind that this is how it is. And yeah, pretty much. So thank you for your comments. He said he's going to check back occasionally with the captain's logs to see how we're coming along. Well, look around, because it's going to be it. Because we are going to be doing it in the same way that they've always been done. Commander Cockings commented on it, says, what would you recommend doing to grow the channel? The captain's logs are supplementary content to our Trekyard shows. Indeed, they're not part of Trekyards, in which we are PC, polite, fun, and strive for the best video quality. What would you recommend in regards to the main content to get it out and out there more and grow the channel? And then Connor replied, message Samuel, let's head on over to Hangouts. We'll follow up there. So I don't know how that went. The commander kind of chatted with me yesterday about a few things, but sorry, Connor. Trevor LaForest, regarding discussion of options for making starships at 39.25 in the last video. Some other alterations for drawing and modeling: Inkscape and Autodesk 123D design. I prefer these to some of the other options. I am not a GIMP fan. Inkscape has a friendlier interface and has better performance. Also, it's a vector editor, which is great for doing blueprints. I'm also not a Blender fan. 123D is a great suite of apps for the novice, and Autodesk has a bunch of cool stuff. 123D Catch is maybe my favorite. So check those out, guys, if you're interested in editing and creating starships and things. Mark Fields, on a funny note, my wife and I saw Drive Angry at a drive-in movie in 3D. Loved it. John Baker, I'm so glad to know there are other people that love Star Trek and play Star Trek Online. I'm just glad to know that people would know Datan is a young boy from Unification. I really like the game. Is that an air compressor? No, that was my furnace, and I have shut it off because other people have complained about it, and it's starting to get kind of cold in here. You live in Canada, you know, guys. Galvers, and as the different topic, if anyone wants to try to create their own Star Trek ships, you can always use Worf's Shipyard. It is a simple way to create ships or kit bashing it from already existing parts in Paint. Just go to the site wolfshipyards.com, all one word, Wolf's Shipyards, WOLFS shipyard.com. So Wolf's with an S, shipyard.com. Then the other section and Star Trek, visit the forum, and even more and more work from different genres. And remember, credit original artists for their work if you use their ships to model yours. Mustafa Muhammad says, any plans on doing a Nova class ship? For some strange reason, I really like that ship. And it's not just Trekyards. I look forward to your captain's logs too. Thank you. And yes, of course, the Nova class will be done. It's one of the most popular ships, and I've had a few requests for it lately. So it'll definitely be added to the long, long list. Analysis of sci-fi. Oh, that reminds me. There's a really popular ship coming up that's been asked for since we started day one. So stay tuned. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's a surprise. But you'll know it when you see it. Analysis of sci-fi. Me and fellow Star Trek fans wrote a blog about your Trekyards. I will link to the Facebook page. I agree with IDIC all the way. I have depression. I know what you mean. I get trolled all the time on my show. Any tips about painting, about ship different colors? I'm trying to get into modeling. Yes, he posted a link to a blog that he wrote about Trekyards, him and his a buddy of his, and it was awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I guess us with depression, really, the trolls really bother us. So, any tips about painting? To which, hold on, there's replies. Michael Wiley says, what exactly was your question? Is the question about painting model kits in general or picking out colors for specific ships? Also, if your question is about hobby kit building and painting, are you using an airbrush or a small paintbrush? And he goes on to analysis of sci-fi, says painting of different color schemes than normal colors for Starfleet ships. Then Michael Wiley says, experiment. You can research objects and machinery, even military camouflage, and experiment on a small section of your model. Dull down the colors for scale. Since bright primary colors will not look good on a small kit, try using different tools to achieve a textured look, such as a sea sponge, or use table salt for a chipping paint look. Flick paint with a toothbrush and use pastel and charcoal for weathering effects. Please use a technique that is used to paint a tank, but do it on a starship. Make a story about your ship and the paint job to fit. Endless possibilities. Does this help? And thanks. So I love that you guys can help each other out on my channel here, on my comments. Just 2 more comments, guys. Michael Palanch. Your assholes out the airlock comment made me literally laugh out loud. Thanks for the shows. You guys are great for a Starship Fix, and I appreciate the info and commentary. I also like the guests. I now follow Drexler on Facebook. You guys are great. Thank you. Captain Lokiwa. Oh, okay, this was slightly disappointing. My comment was skipped. The first part of it was funny, though. Oh well, hopefully this time. I wish there could be a Trekyards meetup with local Trekyardians, but sadly, I doubt there are any Trekyards fans in Oklahoma. Oops, gave away my position. Activating cloaking device. I'd love to help the Fleet Yards research, but I've forgotten the technical specs for some of the Star Wars vehicles. Any ships from other sci-fi franchises, I have no clue about them. I can only remember Star Trek, oddly. That's fine. I can reach out for you guys, and if you have any knowledge, let me know. Or if you have any material, you can look up the knowledge, let me know. Going back to that Connor Rhodes comment, again, he went on to say something about how I ignored Doug Drexler about the LCARs on the screen for Fleet Yards. Well, no, I didn't, because Doug Drexler didn't say that. If you actually would have listened, it was Andrew Probert that suggested that. And Andrew Probert has a tendency of saying it like it is, and his opinion on things, which it's not always the right opinion, nor is it always everyone else's opinion. Generally, it's not. But he's also a big fan of getting his own work out there, so he's suggested that when the artist's pictures are on screen, that we remove the LCARs and just have the artwork highlighted. But that's not the way that Samuel and I went into Trekyards. We went into Trekyards making it seem like you're looking at a panel on a ship. Like you could be in the background of a Next Generation episode watching our show, and it would fit right in, because it would look like you're actually doing library research on the show, learning about a ship or a piece of tech. That's what the show is about. It's supposed to look like an LCARS display. I've had many, many, many comments and compliments on the LCARS layout and the unique elk cars that we use, and the fact that it does look like that it has that feel. So every point that has pissed me off in the last little while is also counterpointed by other people. People love hearing about my depression. People hate it. People don't have a problem that my furnace goes off. Other people hate it. People hate the L cars, or want the L cars just temporary, or get rid of the floating heads. Other people say it's a great formula. It looks good, and it gets our faces out there so that you guys know who we are when you see us. If you ever see us at a convention, you can come up and say hi. It's not like these shows, some of these YouTube channels, have no idea what the YouTuber looks like. Greedo, Hello Greedo, Star Wars guy. He always wears a Stormtrooper helmet, so you never know what the guy looks like. You know what he sounds like, but you don't know what he looks like. So if he was at a convention, nobody would know who he was, which has its perks, but it also has its drawbacks. I don't have a problem with being out there and being Captain Foley, being the face of Trekyards. Samuel is also. I don't know why everybody addresses everything to me. This was originally my channel, and it's my content that got Samuel to contact me, but now we've created Trekyards, and this is Trekyards. I mean, I still have my old videos on here. I still will be doing my own videos, review-wise and whatnot. So what I'm saying is, all these points that people bring up, yeah, we get it, but the way you approach them a lot of the times is not correct. You're basically telling us what to do instead of suggesting, this might be a good idea, but I can see why you do it the way you do. And that Connor Rhodes guy is, swear to God, he's like, thinks he's my fucking father. Like, this is how you have to do it. You have to be a good YouTuber. I'm not a YouTuber. A YouTuber is usually a young punk who does funny skits or taste tests or whatever just to get viewers. 5 to 6 minute videos. Yeah, we want to grow the channel. Yes, we want more followers and subscribers, but we want the people that we want. And we're not going to just generalize our market and saturate it with a bunch of dipshits that are going to just complain and bitch and moan and troll all the time. We want dedicated Star Trek fans that we've selectively kind of gathered and collected over the course of our run, that are actually interested in the content that's on here and are not going to be assholes when it comes to disagreeing with somebody. They can have their own point of view, which they always do on ships. When you design a ship, not everyone likes it. You cannot satisfy everyone. Doug Dresser said this. I've seen it with ships that look fantastic to me. People rip apart. Ships that I hate, people, oh, I love it. I mean, no matter what you do in this Star Trek world, you are going to have people that hate it and people that love it. You cannot satisfy everybody all the time. And that's kind of what I'm finding out with Trekyards. But it's the people that love it and are here for it and enjoy it that I'm making the content for. The people that don't like it, the detractors and the people that just bitch and whine and complain that it's not what they want, it's not the way they would do it, well then, you know what? Go out there, you make yourself a better product, and let popular opinion be the judge of that. I would love to see more shows about Star Trek that aren't fan series that just release one every 5 years or something. Like I said, we're the only weekly multiple shows a week Star Trek show, which is fantastic and probably never been done before. Even when there was series on the air, it was like one show a week, and it was for like a set number of weeks, and then they took a hiatus. We have been on the air nonstop for 1.5 years every week, bringing you content. And we're going to continue to do so until we run out of ideas or we die. So if you don't like it, please don't watch it. Please click this unsubscribe button, and goodbye. I don't need you. Goodbye. Everybody else that loves me and I love you, you love Trekyards. Let's keep on trekking. That is the end of my rant. Captain Foley is signing off. Hope you have a great day and a very stress-free day. And I will see you all very soon. Bye. Ranting.